Hi, I'm Mike, founder of Limitless Combat Sports and Fight Gear and former founder of 360 Hired, RecFinder and Recurred. So in this segment, we're going to talk about validating your product and service and have a look at some of the steps that I follow and have followed previously to validate my product before I go into production or look to spend a whole heap of money on an idea that might not be as great as I thought. Look, there's a 6 kind of step process that I usually follow, and I've also found out and used once before a single step process which uses Facebook marketing to really quickly and easily find out for minimal cost whether or not your product or service is really good. So the first one is in the 6-step process to write down your problem. So not the solution specifically, but the problem that you're trying to create a solution for. So you really want to be able to clearly and quickly articulate what the problem is. So if you ever have a meeting with an investor or a potential customer, you want to know the problem inside and out really quickly, be able to talk about that in a fairly good level of detail. After all, it is about to become your business that you run. So determine if it is a large scale problem or something minor. So if it's stopping people from going about their day-to-day business, or if it's a major pain point in a massive amount of people's lives, that's what you would call a tier 1 problem. If it's a small or really minor thing, you'd kind of tier it down from there. So, less than 50 is like a tier 10, where there's no real business in it, but it's just a bit painful. And then tier 1's right up to, solving major traffic problems. So you create teleportation or something. It's a tier 1 problem. So tier it down and then have a really good look at if there is already a solution available for the problem you're trying to solve. So look at potential customers or potential other businesses, competitors, and look at how many are available, how they deliver that service or product, the kind of traction they're getting, the size of those businesses, the kind of revenue they're generating if it's publicly available, and then look for the pain in those solutions. So how do you fix that solution? How do you fix that problem your own way? And how is that better or different than the other existing solutions for your problem? Then verify that people have money for it. So obviously teleportation is very expensive. So it's a great thing that you want to solve. People can travel around the world in a second, but it might be $1 trillion per travel, so no one's got any money for it. So you need to make sure that, yes, you can produce a solution, but it's also affordable within its given set of limitations. So that really comes down to, if you're creating air travel, that budget's vastly bigger for trying to fix a salt and pepper shaker. People don't want to spend $900 on a salt and pepper shaker. So you've got to really look and get those scales of economy correct so that you can make sure that you can sell your product nice and quickly, nice and easily, minimum problems in getting people to deliver their money to you. So the final step would be using your prospects to define a roadmap. So assuming you have a large scale solution, you need enough people to pay for it. So you might want to think and look at breaking that down into smaller group sizes. So if you find the next large scale problem, so t-shirts, everyone wears t-shirts, but you don't have enough money to buy 1 billion t-shirts, you need to start looking and breaking that problem into smaller bite-sized chunks. So we really want to make sure that we have a roadmap end goal, 1 billion customers. Our first goal might only be 10, 20, 50, 100 customers, and we define a product and solution that is small enough that we can control and handle and maintain, but that we can scale into a larger sort of product later down the track. So that's my 6 steps to define and validate my product or solution. So I'll quickly go back over them. Step 1, write down the problem, not the specific solution. Step 2, determine if it's a large scale problem, so determine the size of your problem. Step 3, look at existing solutions. Step 4, look for pain in those solutions. So what does yours do better than theirs? Step 5, look at a budget. And then step 6, define a roadmap for that solution. The alternative to that long-winded thing is create a single-page website that's a landing page that all it's designed to do is explain your product really quickly. It has an email capture facility, and then start a Facebook page, put a $100 budget into a marketing campaign for it, and see how quickly that $100 gets eaten up. So it's a really, really fun way. It's $100, and if you're serious about your product or idea and you want to validate it, $100 isn't a lot. So what you can do is then gauge if that $100 takes 6 months to go through, your problem's probably not that hard, not that big. If it takes a day or a week or even a month to go through that $100, that means people are clicking on it, means it's wanted, and that's a really quick way to validate an idea. So not the best for selling it to an investor, but it gives you something to go off and go, okay, let's go to the next step now. Okay, so hopefully that's been helpful. If you need any more info, feel free to get in contact.